Meantime, the laying of tracks for the new Lagos-Ibadan rail is due to begin in December 2017. There's been a couple of deadlines to give this rail line a lifeline. Now, the aviation, the contractor says to lay the rails, the tracks is going to start in December. Now, let's go into the financial services sector. The National Insurance Commission chief, Kari, has asked the EFCC, that's the Anti-Graft Commission, to expedite action on insurance firms' cases pending before the agency. And that was yesterday when Ibrahim Magu, the acting chairman of the EFCC, visits the regulator. Now, if you notice, in the last few months, the EFCC chief has been visiting some financial services organizations. Now, remember, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, EFCC now has an MOU that allows the Securities and Exchange Commission to set the agency against anyone who commits criminal securities fraud in the market. Then you find Ibrahim Magu at the Nigerian Stock Exchange a few weeks ago here in Lagos, and the NSE also has an MOU with the EFCC to set the EFCC against anyone who also commits securities fraud. Now, the EFCC has visited the National Insurance Commission. Now it looks like the agency is now focusing seriously on the financial markets misbehavior. You need to take note. Let's look at next week. It's going to be a very interesting week. And of course, the big story is the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank, Monday, Tuesday. And on Tuesday, of course, in the afternoon, 2:30, we'll be doing a live coverage of this event with our panel of panelists, studio of panelists here discoursing and trying to break this down for you. And this meeting, as you may already know, decides on interest rates, what you call the monetary policy rate, the cash reserve ratio of the central bank, and the liquidity ratio parameters. The cash reserve ratio, of course, speaks to the ratio of which banks need to keep some money with the central bank. There's a practice all over the world. Under the cash reserve ratio, you have about what you call the public sector funds and the private sector funds. Then you have the liquidity ratio. All these three key parameters will be decided next week. But before the central bank reach those decisions on whether the MPR should be at 14% and cash reserve should be at whatever percent, and what are the asymmetric corridors for lending, the considerations before the MPC this time around will be the second quarter GDP report. You saw that 0.55%. The foreign trade report came in 3 days ago, positive for Nigeria. August inflation will be considered. We have that now indicated. And then we have the August PMI report that shows that industrial manufacturing is easing. But of course, we'll talk about the manufacturers and hear from the president of MAN a little bit later on the program. Then, of course, the exchange rate market. The central bank's still a little bit happy with where the exchange rate is, even though the governor, Godwin Emefiele, says a few days ago they'll keep tinkering things to make sure the rate becomes more stable and a bit more of a convergence. Then you have rates decisions by the U.S. FOMC. That's the Federal Open Market Committee of the U.S. Federal Reserve. We watch that. We also watch the Bank of England and, of course, the European Central Bank. So the Bank of England has decided. The ECB has taken decision. The FOMC by the U.S. will be next week in the same week. The same day, Nigeria's Central Bank is deciding. It will be the same day in the United States and, of course, the Central Bank of Canada. Other factors for consideration will be the fiscal stimulus by the government and the budget 2017 implementation. Quite a lot next week. You don't want to miss that. Okay, where are we as far as the market is concerned? We added a second day to positive reading, about 0.5%. Yesterday, we're still below the 36,000 level. The market cap is still a little bit gentle. We added a few billion naira to the market, total market value on Thursday. That's reviewing the numbers for you. In terms of daily average, we're still, in terms of volume, we're still below our 250 when the market was really, really hot. We're about 50, 60% down in terms of volume. In value, we're slightly better than midweek transactions, 2.72 billion naira. In total deals, we're just shy of Wednesday transactions. The banking sector lost 0.63%. The consumer goods make a comeback of about 0.2%. The industrial goods were much stronger. And of course, you know, Dangote Cement was in the news making or pulling off the gloves and making that formal announcement to the Nigerian Stock Exchange that this cement company, the largest in Africa, is interested in buying the PPC cement facility in South Africa called the Sectoral Cement in South Africa for yet an undisclosed millions of dollars. Dangote Cement wants to buy the South African cement giant Sectoral for an amount yet to be disclosed. He said it has opened a negotiation for a takeover of that. This will be the first footprint by Dangote Cement in South Africa. It's been all over the continent, from Ethiopia to Kenya to Zambia and Tanzania, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Ghana. Now, Aliko Dangote wants to be in South Africa as well with Sectoral Cement. That's one big news for the market and for that sector yesterday. Insurance, again, 0.43%. Oil and gas was down 1.02%. For a smaller market called the NSE, the National Association of Securities Dealers, over-the-counter market, look at the numbers. And 0.1% haircut, a bit of a softening on Thursday. The index retraces below 600 reading, but the market cap still strong above the 400 billion naira level. Look at the volume, much lower than Wednesday numbers, 45,304 units, and you can see the naira value and the total deals there on your screen. Flip that over. Let's go quickly to the fixed income market for treasury bills and Nigerian bond. Of course, we're just on track with Wednesday. Nothing significantly different. However, you can see treasury bills maturing December 21st, 2017 at 19%, 29.75 billion naira, 119 transactions. Yesterday, the result of the auction by the central bank came out, and we saw that the financial regulator was offering a bit of a lesser coupon or yield on the treasury bills offering, trying to reduce the rate at which the government is borrowing. This is a bit of tightening the knot ahead of packing all these treasury bills you see on the screen and so many more others into a new portfolio that will be denominated in dollars. That's still perhaps a few months ahead, but you don't want to forget that piece of news. Almost 183 billion naira. Quite a very interesting day. For the naira bonds is also very active. We did about 22 billion on Wednesday. Thursday was 21.95 billion, so we're just a bit on track. But you can see most of the trading activities around the mid to long-term papers, 2037, 2020, 2027, and 2029. Let's come back after the break. The MPC decisions next week. We're starting the conversations today. Why wait till tomorrow? We'll be right back.